All right, hi. We're doing it's the chapter 620 772 procurement of procedures for petroleum cleanup. 62720, 77.2.100 applicable purpose. The purpose of this chapter to establish competitive procurement process of the petroleum cleanup is directed in section 287.0595 Florida State Statute, further pursuant to section 376.0712B Florida Statute. The department is directed to implement rules and procedures to improve the efficiency of petroleum restoration program, applicability, site rehabilitation worksite on eligible for state funding for inland protection trust fund shall be subject to this chapter. This chapter applies to solicitation issued by the department on or after January 16, 2004. Rulemaking 287.0595, 376, 303, 376, 3071. Florida State Law implemented 287.0595, 376, 30, 376, 301, 376, 303, 376, 305, 376, 071, 376, 3071, 11, 336, 3713, 376, 30714, 376, 30715, 376, 30716, 376, 3072. Florida History News, January 16th, 2014. All right, which one's next? All right. All right, 622, 722, 200 definitions. All word phrase the definition of section 287.012, Florida State Statute 376, 301. Florida State statutes have the same meaning when used in this chapter. One assignment that makes the direction of the Department of Contract to proceed with the response again with the formal contract. The task assignment the Department issued purchase order. The department will utilize any one of the assignment options identified with the chapter singly in concert and with another. Closure means the completion of the site rehabilitation activities and issuance of site rehabilitation completion order based on the no further action determination with or without controls will include the risk-based corrective action procedure specified in Chapter 62.780. 62.780 Florida Administrative Codes. Competitive procurement means the contracting of qualified person action contractor using one or more of the procedures specified in Rules 62.772.400 and 62.772.401 Florida Administrative Codes. Consistent with the Section 287.057 of Florida State Statutes, contractors shall refer to the following as defined in subsection 60A1.0111 Florida Administrative Codes August 22nd, 2004, Florida Rules or Gateway Reference ASAP number of reference 0356, hereby adopted incorporated reference. Definite quantity controllers and arrangement between the department and the vendor where the vendor agrees to furnish the specific quantity of an item and the items is specified with the contractual service of specified price to specified location. B, a term contract is an agreement between the department and the vendor whereby the vendor agrees to provide an identified quantity of the commodities contractual services and identify with the delivery schedule over the specified period of time. The term contract is issued by the department may also be referred to as the agent term contract. The contractor means the represent action contract is defined in section 376 of the 301 Florida State Statutes. Contracting period means of the period of the contractor's execution to expiration. Contracting regions means the distinct geographical areas identified with the competitive solicitation for agencies. The term contractor for sole purpose of contracting under this term chapter. The department means the Department of Environmental Protection. Professional engineer means a person licensed under Florida State Statute Chapter 471. Professional geologist means a person licensed under Florida Statute Chapter 492. My Florida Marketplace or MFP means the electronic registration procurement system managed by the Department of Management Services is identified with the Chapter 60A-1030 or 60A-1.031 or 6A-132 at Florida Administrative Codes. Phases of site rehabilitation, meaning the distinct of the petroleum contaminated site cleanup, such as the site assessment is defined in Rule 62.780.200. Florida Administrative Intern Source removal is defined in Rule 62.780.200. Florida Administrative Source of removal as defined in Rule 62.780.200. The Florida Administration Code create the remedial action plan described in Rule 62.780.700. Florida Administrative Codes, including bid specs and construction drawings, the implementation remedial action plan, including construction construction, operation, and maintenance post-active remediation monitoring is described in Rule 62, 780, 750. Florida Administrative Code natural attention monitoring it is described in Rule 62, 780, 690. Florida Administrative Codes. 13. Purchase order means of a written agreement formalizing transaction between the department and vendor through the My Florida Marketplace. The purchase order shall represent the contractor with the vendor. A transaction issued pursuant to the agency of the term of the contract. In either event, the purchase order shall contain the statements regarding the quantity, description, price for the commodity, the contractual services, the applicable terms regarding the payment, discount, date of the performance, transportation, other pertinent information, e.g., solicitation and contract number. 14. Responsible party for the purpose of the chapter means the real property owner with the person designated with responsible for the party agreement. 15. The site means of the contiguous land, inland surface water, with the groundwaters areas upon which the discharge of petroleum and petroleum products has occurred. Site assessment. 16. Site assessment means of the performance of any of the task activities described in Rule 62, 780, 500, or 62, 780, 600 Florida Administrative Codes. The task assignment means of a written authorization to use the control of the services conducted and defined with the activities related to the site assessment, remediation activities, the petroleum containment site. The task assignment identified with the specific work to be performed, the schedule of completion, deliverables, authorized costs, responsible action, contractor's invoice against the task assignment. The task assignment may be also used in attachment with conjunction with the department issue purchase. In this case, the response action contractor shall invoice the purchase order. Rulemaking Authority 287-0595, 376-303, 376-3071. Law implemented 287-0595, 376-30, 376-301, 376-303, 376-305, 376-3071. 376-307-101, 3076, 307-13, 376-307-14, 306-307-15, 307-6, 307-16, 306-307-2. Florida History News, January 16, 2014. All right, that takes care of the 200. All right, and complete, and this one's a little bit longer. All right, chapter 62, 772, 300 contractor qualification performance reviews. 1. The minimum qualification all contractors performing site assessment mediation activities state-funded sites under this chapter must meet the following minimum qualifications. Demonstrate that the contractor meets all of the certification license requirements imposed by law. Contractor should possess and maintain the contract firms which possess and maintain valid certification authorization to practice professional geology of the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulations pursuant to Section 492-111 Florida State statutes, and verified certificate of authorization firm to practice professional engineering from the Florida Board of Professional Engineers pursuant to Section 471-023 Florida State statutes demonstrate that they are doing business under their own given name and are not subject to certificate authorization requirement. Each contractor shall certify the Department of the Contract. The certification must be written and submitted to the Department of the Petroleum Restoration Program. Contractor Qualification Coordinator, 2600 Blairstone Road, Mail Station, 4575 Tallahassee, Florida, 32399, 2400. Documented submitted under the Section 376-30711. 2C Florida State statutes may be used to satisfy this requirement. 1. Complies with the applicable OSHA regulations. 2. Maintains work compensation and insurance for all the employees as required by the Florida Works and Compensation Law. 3. Maintain comprehensive liability, comprehensive automobile liability insurance. The minimum limits at least the $1 million per occurrence, $1 million annual aggregated shall protect the claims for the damage for the personal injury, including the accidental death, as well as claims for the property damage which may arise with the performance work under the program designation of the state as an additional insured party. The Department will specify solicitation, higher limits, and liability insurance as necessary. 4. The maintains professional liability insurance of at least $1 million per occurrence or $1 million annual aggregated. 5. Has the capacity to perform directly supervise the majority of the work on site in accordance with Section 489-113 and 9. Florida State statute proceeded to determine the qualified vendors to participate in the procurement opportunities. Only qualified vendors can submit the response for the competitive solicitation of work. Following the procedure for applying with the competitive procurement with the contracts under this chapter in order to qualify potential vendors to respond to competitive solicitation work. Interested vendors shall submit the documentation to the department verifying the vendor meets the minimum of the qualifications specified in the subsection of the documentation must be written and submitted to the Department of Petroleum Restoration Program to Contractor Qualification Coordinator, 2600 Blairstone Road, Mail Station 4575, Tallahassee, Florida 32399 2400. The department will review the qualification documentation and notify each of the vendors determined regarding the qualification status. Only the vendor may meet the minimum qualification date of opening the response for the competitive solicitation of the work shall be continued with the procurement process. The vendors not meeting minimum qualifications on the date of the opening response shall determine unqualified and rejected further consideration for the solicitation. The department will indicate those vendors were rejected by the posting. The department's decision for the solicitation is required in Rule 660A10021, Florida Administrative Codes, August 22nd, 2004, Florida Rules or Gateway Reference Number, the reference 03557, hereby adopted and incorporated in the reference of the department shall maintain a list of the qualified vendors on this website. The qualified vendors responsible for maintaining the minimum qualification subsection vendors that are recommended for the contract award but do not maintain a minimum qualification after opening the response for the competitive solicitation must satisfy minimum qualification requirements in subsection 1 per the execution of the contract. Pursuant to Rule 60A-1030, Florida Administrative Codes, each of the vendors selected for the competitive procurement shall be registered in My Florida Marketplace prior to the execution of the contract purchase order of the state-funded petroleum site rehabilitation services. After execution of the contract, any contractor cannot demonstrate the meets of the minimum qualification subsection 1 is not eligible to perform the services under the chapter and subject to the contract termination is not corrected. 5. Disqualification. A. It is unlawful for the site owner or operator with his or her designate to receive the remuneration in cash or kind, directly, indirectly, for the contractor performing patrol or site rehabilitation services pursuant to the section. Contractor offering and provided with such remuneration shall be immediately removed and from the all active state-funded sites and all contracted terminated. In the addition, with specifically individual of the making offer or providing the remuneration of their associated companies shall be disqualified from participation in all state-funded cleaning activities as well as competitive solicitation for up to 3 years, subject to the procedure of Section 287-133 Florida State Statute. All contracts are subject to the default procedure rule of 60A1006 of Florida Administrative Codes. October 15, 2006, Florida Rules Gateway Reference ASAP and the equal number of the reference of 3558. With the here adopted and incorporated the reference contractor performance review, the department shall evaluate the input responsibility part of the site owner with the contractor performance at least after completion of the task assessment with the purchase order under the term of the contract, completion of the number of the term contract for the contractor performance evaluation for the number 01 dated with April 2016. Florida Rules Org with the gateway reference ASAP the reference number 5720 here adopted with incorporated the reference of the site ownership, the reasonable responsible party contractor performance survey form, the number 2, the dated April 2016, Florida Gateway reference 06667. Hereby adopted and incorporated the reference. A copy of these forms obtained with the Division of Waste Management at the website of the Department of State, Florida, USA Waste, or at 2600 Blairstone Road, Tallahassee, Florida 32399. Contractor performance shall be considered to be prior to the assignment of the rehabilitation task, authorizing contract renewals, determine retainage and its release pursuant to Section 376-3076. 376-3071-6 Florida State Statute. Rulemaking Authority 287-0595, 376-303, 376-3071, Florida State Laws Implemented 287-0595, 376-330, 376-301, 376-303, 376-305, 376-3071, 376-3007, 30,713, 376, 33714, 376, 3715, 376, 3716, 376, 3072. Florida History News, June 13, 2004, amended April 6, 2016. All right, that concludes the Section 3. So we're going to go on to Section 4. All right, Section 62, 772, 400. Procedure for the competitive procurement of the contract. Your assignment of the work. The department will use the procedure specified in Section 287.057, Florida State Hatchery, in the chapter of the Florida State Statute, chapter of the competitive procurement, the Service of Petroleum Contaminated Site Response Actions for Earlier Detection Incentive Program, pursuant to Section 376.30.719, Florida State Statute, the Petroleum Liability Restoration Insurance Program, or PLRIP, pursuant to Section 376.330.72.2, Florida State Statute, the Abandonment of Tank Restoration Program, ATRP, pursuant to Section 376.3056, the Florida State Statute, Innocent Victim Petroleum Storage System Restoration Program, IVP, SSRP, pursuant to Section 376.30715, Florida State Statute, for the petroleum contamination on sites under the constant order, also known as hardship and indigent sites, defined in Section 376.30717C, Florida State Statutes. Agency term of the contract. The department will use the innovation of bids, request for the proposal, innovation with negotiate, described in Section 287.057, Florida State Statute, enter multiple agency term contracts to retain the contractors to conduct, identify with the quantity with the petroleum site rehabilitation on the task or reassignment basis for the over the contract period. The department will specify the solicitation, whether the solicitation agency the term of the contract is limited to a specific region of the state or is statewide. Assignment of work and agency term contractors. In order to the additional value with the consistent with the subsection 60A10432 of the Florida Administrative Code in June 21st, 2004, Florida Rules Gateway reference number reference 03571. 03575. Here adapted and incorporated by the reference. The department will specify agency term of the contract with dollar threshold based on the categories in Section 287.017 Florida State Statute. Above, the department will request the quotes for the agency term contract for the phase of the site rehabilitation when the department determines the direct reassignment. The direct assignment of the request and quote of the agency term of the contract is upon the subjection of statute Florida Administrative Code 62772 403. Florida Administrative will not provide the best value of the state. The department will use the invitation bid request for proposal invitation negotiated but described in section 287057 Florida State Statute enter the finite quantity contract to perform services at a petroleum contaminated site. 5. Responsible party input. The department will notify the responsible party in writing when its site comes up to the priority order of the site rehabilitation within 30 days of receipt notification. The responsible party should respond to the department indicating whether they desire to provide input to the department into the rehabilitation process of the site. A. If the responsible party does not respond within 30 days, indicate that they do not wish to provide input into the rehabilitation of their site. The department will conduct rehabilitation in accordance with the procedures of this chapter and Chapter 62.780 Florida Administrative Codes. B. The responsible party indicating desire to provide input of the rehabilitation process will provide the following with the prior to the direct assignment of the agency term of the contract, initiating the contractor selection process under the paragraph 62.772. 77.403B4 Florida Administrative Code. The department will consult the reasonable part of the drafting scope of the work to be performed at the site of each of the phase rehabilitation, taking into consideration site logistics such as the construction and the property conditions necessary to limit the interpretation business ongoing site. Responsible party documentation requirements of the safety or liability insurance. 2. The department of the responsibility party will discuss closure options availability for the site under the Rule 62.780 6080. 68.0 Florida Administrative Code. For the court, the responsible party will have the open option to reject one of the agency term contractor prior to the assignment of the work under the section 62.772 77.2 403 for Florida Administrative Code. In the event of an emergency, the responsible party shall have the right to demand that the contractor to suspend the work. The responsible party shall notify the Department of the Petroleum Restoration Program within 4 hours at noon of the following business day, and suspension occurred with no business hours. 6. Renewal of the contract will subject to section 287.057 13 287.058 1G and Florida State Statutes. Contractor extension shall be written in a period of not to exceed 6 months. The extent of the period shall be subject to the same terms and conditions set forth for the initial contract amendment signed by the parties. There shall be only one extension for the contractor unless the failure to meet the criteria set forth the contract completion of the contract is due to events beyond the control of the contractor. Control extension is different from the contract renewal. Rulemaking authority 287.0595 376 303 376 3071 law and pertaining 287.0595 287.057 376.30 376.301 303 376.305 376.3071 376.3071 1 376.3000 71.3, 3,000, 376.3, 30,714, 376, 30,715, 376.3, 07616, 376.3072 Florida history and news of the June 13th, 2014. And that takes care of the 400. We have two more sections left. All right, Section 62772, 402, the exemptions of competitive procurement requirements for the Administrative Department shall file with the procedures in Section 2870573A of the Florida State Statute to mitigate intermediate danger for the public health and safety welfare of the other substantial loss to the state. 2. For a single source purchase, the Department shall file with the procedures in Section 2870573C of the Florida State Statutes. Rulemaking 2870595, 3763003, 3763071, 2870595, 37630, 3763001, 3763003, 3763005, 3763071, 376300711, 376300713, 376300714, 376300715, 376300716, 3763072. Florida History News, January 1st, January 16th, 2014. And that takes care. And now we're moving on to the last one. All right. It should be the last one for the 6272, which is procurement procedure petroleum cleanup. All right, 62772, 600 contracting terms and conditions. One of the terms and conditions the Department contracts under the chapter shall contain the terms and conditions specified in Section 287058 of the Florida State Statute. Payments and purchase warrants and invoices are subject to provisions in Section 21542, 21542, 1112, 112061. Florida State said the Department will include the contingency statements applicable to the contract will require annual appropriation for the accordance with Section 2870582 Florida State Statute. The Department will include the provision in Section 2870585 Florida State Statutes for late payments for the contractors and subcontractors and suppliers. Penalties are applicable. Rulemaking Authority 2870595, 3763003, 3763071. Laws implemented with 2870595, 37630, 3763001, 3763003, 3763005, 376 3071, 376 30711, 376 3713, 376 3714, 376 3715, 376 3716, 376 3072. Florida State History News, January 16th, 2004. And then once again, that was procurement procedure for the petroleum cleanup.